my name is Mia Zamora. I'm a clarinet teacher in the Dallas area. I usually make some middle school etude videos each year, and I thought maybe this year it would be helpful to put some tips and tricks in the beginning of each video. So first of all, this is for Region 24 middle school, so look at the top of your etude page, and if it says Region 3 or 22 or I don't even know, any other number, 5, this video is not for you, okay? It's for Region 24. Great, so let's start with the technical, and I first want to say that even though the tempo is very, very fast when you're learning it and when you're practicing it, please don't go 100 to the quarter note. Actually, I think it would be best if you felt it to the 8th note, okay? What do I mean by that? Well, let's kind of break it down. Let's think about it. How many 16th notes are in an 8th note? 2, right? Good. We're thinking about that question because everything's a 16th note, right? So, if I put my metronome to 60 as the 8th note, I'm going to hear 2 notes per click. Maybe that word-wise is confusing. I would like to play an example. I'm just going to play measure 1. Again, my metronome is at 60 and I'm using it as the 8th note, not the quarter note. So 2 notes per click. Let's just give it a try. Okay, great. So maybe you're sitting there and you're thinking, wow, that is really slow. Or maybe you're thinking, wow, that is really fast. I don't know. Either way, it's fine. You can slow it down. You can speed it up a little bit, but don't go crazy, right? Here's the thing. Maybe you can already play it at tempo. Great, and that's really good. But we still have so much time till the audition. You need to take it back down to a very slow tempo, like 60 or maybe 72 to the 8th note, and work on it again, okay? Speed it up again, and if you do that for the second time, do it again. Why are we repeating that process? Well, we're training not only our fingers, right? The pattern, the fingers are feeling more comfortable, more confident. We're trying to eliminate any mistake, right, that could happen in the audition. And we're also training our ears, the melody, right? Orally, we want to train our ears with the melody. This is a big factor for us. It really helps us in our playing. And then thirdly, it's just our minds, right? It's really engaged visually, that we're following along so that there's no moments of surprise. If you've already taken an audition in the past, maybe you're an 8th grader, sometimes when you take a chair test or something, it's like your brain just flips off, right? Or at least that has happened to me. And it's like you just forget how to read music. I hear a lot of my students tell me that sometimes. It's like almost like some sort of blackout. Well, doing it slow to fast more than once over a long period of time. Don't do it in one day, right? It helps eliminate that, or at least I find that it does for me, and I hope that it does for you. So that is why we're going so slow right now. It also gives you a chance to think of multiple things at once. This etude doesn't have many written dynamics, but that doesn't mean that you should just play it, right? It gets very boring. So please put in some dynamics. We'll talk a little bit about that later. Other than that, the rhythm is, I think, pretty easy for this, right? Pretty simple throughout. The only difference is what? Measure 8, measure 22, 23, and oh, there it is, 14. But guess what? The rhythm might be different, but it's the same, okay? We just have that one little 16th rest in there. So, let's look at 14, since our rest is right in the beginning there. If I have my metronome going, I think we should count it, okay? I'm going to use Tays, and I'm going to be counting it in 8, right? Why am I counting it in 8? Because we're using the 8th note, okay? If you need a moment, just pause the video, let that, sink in, think about that. What does that mean? There are 8 eighth notes in each measure, okay? So that is why I'm gonna count it in 8, but I'm just gonna count this very beginning part, okay? Measure 14, so we have 1, 2, 3. It's actually a pretty simple rhythm. It just maybe visually looks weird. I'm gonna play it just so you have an example. Okay, nothing crazy there. The next thing that maybe would be challenging is just a couple notes that are weird and maybe some fingerings. Maybe they're new for you and that's fine. So we're gonna jump around here. I'm sorry if that's a little weird. Let's go back to measure 2. There's only one accidental in that measure. It's a sharp note. It is D sharp, okay? Let's just go over the fingering because I hear this note being played usually as C sharp or something else, so just double check your pinkies. Thumb register, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Most people refer to this as RP1, okay, so this top front pinky, that is D sharp. Make sure you're using that pinky there. Everything else fingering wise is pretty decent until maybe measure 8. It's not a difficult note, but it's one we don't always see. It's A sharp. A sharp is the same as, give me a moment to think, B flat. Okay, A sharp is B flat. They're the same. It's called enharmonic. Okay, they have different names, but we play them the same way. Something a little special about this measure is that it affects the very first note, B natural. We have to play it a specific way. So we need to play the first note of measure 8, B natural, with the banana key, okay? So that for A sharp, we'd lift. Nobody play middle because then we have to flip and we don't want to flip. No flippy. Banana key, lift for A sharp. Then we're going along, more D sharps. You got that now. Measure 11 though, we have the really high D sharp. Let's clarify that fingering as well, okay? That gets into our really high register, our altissimo register. So everybody find that measure 11. The last 6 notes actually, right? D sharp carries through. Take a look. So it's thumb register, 2, 3, 4, banana. Throw down RP1 as well, okay? It's going to help with the intonation and voicing there. So we're here, all 6 notes. We're going along, and then we hit measure 12. The first note of measure 12 is an E. Release the right hand other than RP1. Keep RP1 for E. E is thumb register 2, 3. Okay, so again, D sharp banana, E, lift almost all this hand up. Okay. I hope that is clear and helpful. I think those are the only odd fingerings in this etude. Maybe we should talk about one more in measure 20. The E sharp. The second note of measure 20 is E sharp. So let's take a pause. E sharp is the same as F natural. Okay. E sharp is F natural. It's a weird one. It's a weird one. So again, it's not difficult. I think everybody knows that fingering, right? Just thumb F. But again, the visual of when you get there, you don't want to have any moments of like, oh, what the heck is E sharp? Just, that's why we're practicing it slow to fast so that you know, oh, E sharp, no problem, it's F. Good. As far as the technique now, if you're really struggling with the finger patterns in this, there is a lot of arpeggios. Arpeggios usually consist of 3 notes, and they're like a scale is every note, right? Every note, one by one. You're not skipping anything, but an arpeggio is skipping every other note. Look at measure 1 if that's confusing. Look at measure 1. We have E, G, and then B. So what are we skipping? We're going E, skip F to G, skip A to B. That's an arpeggio, E, G, B, okay? We have more spread throughout this. Let's look at 16 now. That's another arpeggio, adding the 7th this time. And this technique, 16, 18, 20, I think is where it starts to get challenging. Just because it's something a little unfamiliar for us, okay? So I'd like to give you a practice method for it. I hope that when I say this right now that it makes sense. I think it's easier if I demo it, but I'm going to try to say it first. A good way to practice this measure 16, is the very first thing we're going to do is hold out the first note of each 16th note grouping. So we're going to hold out the A, the B flat, then the C sharp. I'm going to demonstrate it right now, okay? Okay, I'm playing it a little bit faster right now just for time's sake. You don't need to hear me practicing it. You would repeat that again. Listen back if that was unclear. So now that I feel good about my first note, I'm going to hold out the second note. So the C sharp, the C sharp, the A, the A. Okay, let me demonstrate that. Great. You're feeling good about that. You just repeated it 5 times. Great. 5 is the magic number. Repeat your stuff. Never just do it once. Now we're going to hold out the third note. So we're going to hold out E, the G, and the G. Now you guessed it. Feeling good about that, so we're going to hold out the fourth note. Demonstrate that. You repeat, repeat, repeat. The final step is putting it all together. Okay, so repeat that for measure 18 and measure 20. That's really all I have to say about this etude. I hope that it's helpful. That's helpful. You can always shoot me a question in the comments. I'll try to get to it if you have any questions. But happy practicing and good luck at Region.